Hey, I'm Big Daddy Donnie Da Silva, and it is time for another truth bomb. Roman Reigns is awesome. Roman Reigns is the single most important wrestler on earth right now. Go ahead, mock me, call me a mark, tell me you don't know wrestling, you're casual, you're just a WWE fanboy, you don't know real wrestling. Here's what I know. Members of the Internet Wrestling Community, or IWC, love saying things like, Roman sucks. He never defends his belt and he always needs help to win. He's a part timer and he's a terrible worker that only knows 3 moves. Okay, let's start with that last point. If you are a pro wrestling fan and when you're explaining to someone how good or bad a performer is, and you start using words like move set, or you're talking about how many moves a guy does, you have officially gone so far up your own ass and you are unable to tell the difference between guys who are actually working and guys who are just doing stuff in the ring. Roman has gotten so good because every move he does has purpose. There is no wasted energy. He rarely gets much offense in these days because he spends the majority of his matches selling and making his opponents look good. You know what, kids? Heels aren't supposed to do cool moves. Heels aren't supposed to make you cheer for them based on their work. But when Roman does hit a Superman punch, a spear, or throws on a guillotine, it always looks believable. His ability to sell makes him one of the best workers in the world today. And I know that's a controversial statement. How dare you rank him in the same breath as guys like Okada and Osprey and Omega? It's simple. He doesn't need to do 55 high spots where an hour after the match, you're like, what just happened? I don't really remember. It's all a blur. He will sell and sell. And so many of the guys that fans consider to be the best forget that part of the match. They're too busy getting their shit in. They will sell the moment, and then a second later, it's on to the next spot, on to the next transition, and they have forgotten the plot. They've forgotten the fact that it's supposed to be good guy versus bad guy. And without the sell, there's no heat. And without the heat, there's no shine. And without the shine, none of it means anything. Without that, your match is just a bunch of choreography, and the crowd is going to be blown up halfway through the thing. When Roman does hit something, it's intentional, it's purposeful, and it looks like a shoot, even though it's all extremely safe. Folks, those are the tent poles of a great worker, not how many moves you do. And then you hear, but he can't win by himself. He always needs help. Again, he's a heel. What are we not getting here? What exactly is accomplished by a heel who beats a babyface star clean? Why do we want this? He gets help from the bloodline, which allows the face to stay strong. They don't lose momentum. They can slip back into the main event scene like that because they don't get beat clean. And then the reign of tyranny continues for the heel champion. If you're an old head like me, and this sounds familiar, it should. There was another heel champion decades ago who held on to his belt night after night thanks to dusty finishes and outside interference. Woo! In 2024, it's harder than ever to be a top heel. If you're good at what you do, then the crowd is going to smarten up and they're going to cheer for you regardless of what the promoter wants you to do. Look at Swerve or MJF as recent examples. And yes, when Roman walks out there, are there people with their ones pointed to the sky? Of course. But then, for the most part, his lack of moves and inability to win makes them boo him all over again. And they don't even realize it's all part of the work. Now, as far as that statement about Roman being a part timer who rarely defends his belt, that's all true. But context is needed. In the 27 years I've been involved in the wrestling business, you can count on one hand the number of performers who, by themselves, regardless of opponent or program, impact the bottom line so drastically. Just in 2023 alone, Roman was in the main event of the highest grossing Royal Rumble ever, the highest grossing Elimination Chamber, the highest grossing SummerSlam, and the highest grossing WrestleMania. And while he's on TV, it's treated as a special event. Historically, we've seen wrestlers who can spike the rating during their quarter hour. We've seen this creature, but Roman does something different. When he's on the show, the audience has been conditioned to understand it's a special night, and he's going to be sprinkled throughout the program. So Roman doesn't just spike his main quarter hour, he boosts the entire episode. When Roman Reigns shows up, everyone makes more money. He's literally the Taylor Swift of professional wrestling. There was a time many years ago when you could say that one of his biggest flaws was his mic work. He stumbled all over himself on the mic, literally had John Cena in his face on live TV say, "It's called a promo, kid, and if you're going to be the big dog, you got to learn how to do it." Look, Roman was always eloquent, but he used to lack authenticity and confidence on the stick, and now he is just so smooth. And he doesn't need to tell you jokes or hit stupid catchphrases or try to shock the crowd by making references to the competition. He just goes out and performs his role as the tribal chief, exuding power and respect and making you hate him so much. And when he does drop the title at WrestleMania 40, it will mean so much more because of how important he has made himself and that title. You can disagree with me all you want, but everything I've said is true.